Hey, good evening, family, friends, and family, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 132nd episode of Tone's Take, and there's a couple of things I just wanted to cover before I do get into the main story, because I guess for a Saturday, more things than not actually happen. First thing I wanted to talk about was this Eurovision Song Contest. I don't really follow it, but it's trending, so I thought I'd just bring it up. Congratulations to Israel, the country that won this year. I don't even know the song that was sung and by who. I guess it was called Toy or something, but that was great. So that was in the news. But then also there's this beef between Cardi B and Azealia Banks that's been brewing more, where Cardi B basically called out Azealia Banks on the Breakfast Club yesterday. Charlemagne the God, who, as you know, did that interview a few weeks ago with Kanye West, was basically asking Azealia Banks, who's over here, questions about Cardi B, who's right over here. And as you know, Cardi B is like one of the main women in hip hop right now. And basically, Cardi B didn't like a lot of Azalea's responses. It's blown up on Instagram and then, of course, on Twitter as well. And a lot of it basically has to do with the views of females, of the black female, and how Cardi B has portrayed them, and it's become a terrible caricature, according to Azealia Banks. And Cardi B basically tried to squash all of that, and she had a rebuttal and then decided to delete her Instagram pictures, maybe her account completely. So I'm not sure where that's going to go, but women, black women especially, please, let's not allow these two women to be representative of any of you. You're all unique and different in your own ways, and you're all powerful. So you just need to stick with that. And then the last other little off topic I wanted to talk about, which will kind of segue, or I got two more things. So governor of Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Mary Fallon. She is in the news today as well because, one, she basically said that preferential treatment should be given to a man and a wife, or a woman and a female, or I'm sorry, a male and a female when it comes to adopting children, which pretty much upset a lot of LGBT supporters who say that the child's needs should come first. There are nearly 500 million, I believe, children that are up for adoption across America, and to have a bill that doesn't allow gay couples to adopt children or doesn't give them the same access or put them on the same footing is a bad thing. And then she's also in the news because she vetoed a gun rights bill, which would have basically eradicated the need for training before owning a gun. So she basically has the LGBT community angry at her, as well as the NRA angry at her. And I will say, when it comes to the issue of who's able to adopt the children, I personally would also give preference to a male and female couple over a gay couple, whether it be male, male, and female, female. And that's just my personal preference. I still support, if you're LGBT, obviously, if you really want to adopt a child, you should have the right to. But I firmly believe that a child has a better chance with a mother and a father than with two fathers or with two mothers. And that's just my personal belief, and I don't think anything can change that. I'm not saying that there aren't different ways of parenting, or there aren't different things, but science is science, and I stick by that. And then, of course, with guns, yes, I think people do need to have training before they're able to buy a gun. So I completely agree with Mary Fallon on both of these issues. And then, of course, in Paris, there was an attack that left, I believe it was 5 people injured and 1 person dead. A man shouted out Allah Akbar before going and stabbing like 5 or 6 people, killing 1 person, and that's where that story ends. ISIS, of course, has claimed that the attack was because of them, and basically just goes to show, hey, look, knife, gun, whatever, people are crazy. And that's where I wanted to take this story, because I wanted to talk about this guy. His name is Alex Manassian, and if you don't remember him, he was responsible for the deaths of these 10 people that I'll show you now if it shows up. So of these 10 people, and their names are, if I can find it real quick, their names, because I want to make sure I give them the respect that they deserve. Rest in peace to all of them. Starting from the top left to right: Anne Marie D'Amico, Dorothy Sowell, Renuka Amarasinghe, Munir Najjar, Chul Min, Eddie Kang, Marie Elizabeth, also known as Betty Forsyth, Sohei Chung, Andrea Braden, Geraldine Brady, Ji-hun, and Ji-hun Kim. The 10 people that were killed by Alex Manassian last month in Toronto after, if you remember this, there was basically a van attack where Alex Manassian just completely plowed them down and killed these people. I'm going to leave their pictures up here. And I just wanted to speak real quick because right before the attack, he had posted a message on Facebook, and it was a really cryptic message that said, "Private recruitment Manassian infantry wishing to speak to Sergeant Fortran. The Incel rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all the Chads and Stacys. All hail Supreme Gentleman Elliot Rodger." And as if ISIS isn't enough, as if white supremacy isn't enough, now we have to deal with this group of people that call themselves incels. And I had to find exactly, what the heck an incel is. They have a history of violence. They had previous violence where one member killed 6 people in California in 2014. And it's not a huge following, but it's so far as a deadly following. And basically an incel are people that label themselves as involuntarily celibate. They are basically guys who are not able to have sex either because they think they're not hot enough, or they don't think they have enough money, or it's their personality. For some reason, they are not able to have sex with someone of the opposite sex. And so incels are this online subculture. They're frustrated by their inability to find romantic relationships and sex. In their world, they have these things called Chads or Stacys, and these are people who have no issues finding sexual partners. A Chad, as this one article that I'm reading about in the BBC, which is mainly talking about it, a Chad is a caricature of a sexually successful man. And comparisons are not just about personality or confidence. Many incels believe they are actually genetically inferior to Chads. And then Stacys are basically the women who have, they're pretty much like everything that they will want. They're very attractive, but they also think that Stacys are all about just getting money, and they're really just money hungry, and they're all about looks, and they don't care about a guy's personality. So I just find it really interesting. A lot of the articles that I'm reading about this, especially this BBC article which came out today by Jonathan Griffin, it really is kind of telling about these people. And it's like, gosh, another group to worry about of men, especially with a lot of the Me Too and the feminist movement. Like it's funny because it's like as one group rises, another group will also rise to come right up against them. So it's these overall themes of failure and frustration that this article talks about, along with anger and hate, which are common among incel forums. And this author of this article spoke to several young men who call themselves incels. A lot of them are in their teens and early 20s. I think he spoke to one person identified as being as young as 15 years old. And they go to these message boards that are on Reddit, 4chan, I guess Facebook as well, out of loneliness. And what they find is groups of other angry men that are pushing the idea that they've basically lost the genetic lottery and that there's nothing they can do about it except for obviously lash out in negative ways. So it's pretty interesting, but I would love to get your thoughts on it. I don't want to run long on this video, but again, I just wanted to bring it up because this is yet another group of people that it's like, how do we get to them? Again, you've got people killing other people with vans, like Alex Manassian did to these people. You've got, people killing each other with guns, knives. It just doesn't seem to end. And it gets me back to the point that, it's not about gun control. It's about mental health. No matter where these people come from, they, for some reason, are hurt. They come from a hurt place, and we need to get these people some sort of help. And we really need to focus and find these people, whether they be on message boards or groups. Like, we really need to do a better job of that instead of pushing them, marginalizing them into some subculture, into some group where they just get radicalized. I mean, incels are basically a radicalized culture of people that feel like they cannot have sex with other people, and it's really sad. It's really of the saddest degree that they feel like they've lost some sort of genetic lottery, and that the only thing that they can do is to go and attack other people, whether it be women, and in this case also 2 men as well. It's really sad. So that's all I had to talk about. I know this was like a fully loaded video with a whole bunch of stuff, but that was the main thing I wanted to talk about, and I didn't want to make this go more than 10 minutes, so I'm going to end it right there. Let me know your thoughts on incels and incel culture, and just really what we can do about these people in general, people that have just these mental issues that just seemingly range from religious superiority to feeling inferior to other people, to of course supremacy see across racial lines, and even within racial lines, like team light skin versus team dark skin. I'll never understand it, but there is just so much hate building amongst people, and it's getting to a point where we're not doing anything about it. We're just covering it up, like the This Is America video. We just cover it up with entertainment, pushed in your face, and then the next thing you know, someone's lashing out and hurting and killing people, and that's when we decide to talk about it. So that's all I've got to talk about today. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out.